the kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast representing the dad world order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. And with me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. We got the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Murphy.
Honk if you hear me, baby. Hell yeah, let's go.
Oh, yeah. And he is the perpetual mid-carder and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Cephas.
All right. Cowabunga indeed. Today is 8/67, and it's an old school. Well, not even old school. I guess it's old school. Starcade, when Moxley was still in WWE.
Hell yeah,
Okay,
dude.
daddy.
Hell yeah.
I just want to take a moment to actually thank you guys for your well wishes and thoughts, and to everybody else who reached out or just had me in mind through the past couple of days. I appreciate all the well wishes and positive vibes. They did not go unheard, so thank you.
Oh yeah. That's what we love here, man. We got an awesome little community building, and we're happy with everybody that has stuck along for the ride. And when one of us hurts, all of us hurts. So it's pretty awesome when everybody steps up like that.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Cheers indeed.
Well, as always, we are the DWO podcast, and tonight we have with us a very special guest. He is the Red Solo Cup Cowboy,
Mr.
Preston Ryker. I believe the shoot last name is Spangler.
Yes, it is.
The gimmick name is Ryker. All right, we're good. We got it. That overlay is just so pretty, though. We couldn't be going and changing it now. Mr.
Yeah.
Magnificent worked hard on that. Well, hell yeah, man. How the heck are you? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, the reason I went with Preston Spangler instead of Preston Ryker is because we want to talk about more than just Preston Ryker.
Let's do it.
Night.
There's nothing off topic.
You got a lot of stuff going on, and besides just what you do inside the squared circle. So
I do. If you don't mind me starting,
by all
so
means.
with no further ado, I do have my own line of action figures.
Oh man,
True Wrestling Evolution. It is a true wrestling evolution in action figures.
That's
What's
fantastic.
that? Do you have a .com for that? Is that True
I
Wrestling?
do. TrueWrestlingEvolution.com. You can get myself. You can also get the man I'm facing in the main event at KOA Campground on June 8th, Congo Kong.
Oh,
He is my trainer. And if
Hell
you
yeah.
want to get trained by the man himself, he's also been seen on TNA Wrestling. You can hit up Steve Wilson on Facebook. Also in the line is Aaron Stevens, formerly known as Damian Sandow. And each of these action figures I'm showing off will have its own rare as well.
all
We
right.
also have the man himself, the NWA World Champion, and the OVW World Champion, EC3.
Dude, those are sick, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
And
what
if
is your
it comes-
actual I'm sorry.
What's
Go
the
ahead.
question?
I
No,
didn't
you're
know you weren't finished. I thought you were finished. Go ahead. You've got more.
So he's my best friend in real life and in the ring. He might be the harder hitting than I am, but Ace Evans, he is actually now in a tag team called the Saloon Slayers, and he's the best man at my wedding, and I couldn't be.
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Can he
So
cut a good promo?
Can I cut a promo?
No, I said, can he cut a good promo?
Oh my goodness! Hell yeah, he can.
Okay. I'm just wondering how the best man speech is going to go.
I don't know. I told him, I was like, listen, I'm gonna probably have a few drinks, so you just do it off the cuff, brother. You know what I mean?
My brother asked permission first. I don't know if you ever watched Rick and Morty, but
I love Rick and Morty. Hell yeah.
When Bird Person gets married, Rick has a list that literally just has a nonsense, and then he rolls it up anyways and throws it. My brother did the exact same thing. He had a list that had nonsense, then started to read it and threw it, and I was like, okay, we're off to a good start.
That's awesome.
I know Mr. Magnificent up there is known for his best man speeches.
I had cue cards though. Oh, not cue cards, but I had cards. But I mean,
But you also had props.
Yeah.
No, man, I'll tell you what, Ace has helped me through a lot of dark times and good times. You know, like he's been, you know, inside and outside the ring. He's everything to me, you know. As Mr. Party Preston Ryker or Preston Spangler, you know, he's messed up a lot in his life, but Ace Evans, Sean Stockmeyer has been my rock for a long time. So
oh yeah, it's always good to have those people, man. Those
you need to, man.
Those people help us out for sure.
Amen to that.
So that's kind of what we got in, you know, us three. You know, we're lean on each other. You know, always a bulletin board or a dartboard at times, I guess.
Yeah, because if you don't have that, then you don't have anything, you know. And including like with Congo Kong, you know, Steve Wilson, you know, like he's not just my trainer, but he's. So my father died a year ago. So yesterday was 1 year that he died, but it was actually a year ago. And Steve Wilson took me under his wing and was like, hey, you know, like, let me retrain you and let me show you how I feel like pro wrestling needs to be. And I was like, okay, of course. And you know, words can't express how happy I am, you know, but come June 8th, you know, I got to wrestle him. And he's a friggin' tall dude. He's a big ass dude as well. And
the student now becomes the teacher.
Exactly. Mr. Party has to win, because if he doesn't, then everything that he promised his real father before he died will be for nothing, you know. So I have to win against Congo Kong, because if that don't happen, it's for nothing. And I've been busting my ass going to Canada, going all around the United States, you know. So
hell yeah,
yeah.
It's crazy how that'll happen to you, though, man. I bet.
What up, Brian?
Yeah, what up, Brian? We just went to an NWF show this past weekend. I spotted him in the crowd wearing our hat. That's always cool. See our merch in the crowd.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But what I was saying, though, it's weird how that'll come out of nowhere, too, because I can almost guarantee you, you know, I've met Kong a few times myself. When you first meet that guy, you're probably not, I'm going to care deeply about this person. You know what I mean? And that
I do.
I met Big Rig in the line to meet Danhausen, and now, like, if you'd have told me 3 years ago, like, oh, you're going to meet two dudes here soon that you're going to fucking see more than your family for the most part, and I would have been like, oh, you're full of shit. I don't let anyone in my circle. And then I met these nerds, you know.
Dude, I'm the same way. I was talking about it the other day, just how like my circle's gotten so much smaller.
Who can't love that face?
Oh yeah, so nice.
There's so good detail on those too, man.
Right? Show it again. That looks so good, man. The detail's great. So what's your role in with the action figures?
So
I mean, what is
my company? I designed this. So I'm based out of Toledo, Ohio. That's my shoot area. Shoot means real. For the fans that may or may not know. So I'm based out of Toledo, Ohio, and my fiance and I, we were watching the Ohio State-Michigan game. I'm an Ohio State fan, so if you're Michigan, you know, I'm sorry, but suck it. So we lost to Michigan.
No, we didn't.
Who said that?
No, we didn't.
All right, I love you. I love you.
Hey, we don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan, except for our DWO fans.
The whole state of Michigan.
Exactly.
The whole state of Michigan. We don't
give a
damn for the whole state of Michigan, because
we're from Ohio.
There we go. Yeah. If my mother is watching this, she's
and anyone who might be listening from Michigan, I'm sorry.
Right.
You were born in the wrong spot.
So
Suck it, Dave.
True Wrestling Evolution started out as a custom action figure company called Custom Evolution. And that started off in 2020. And I was going through a really pretty bad time in my life, but it was more of what can I do to kind of get through each day, you know? I'm not afraid to admit, like I've been dealing with a lot of mental illness for a lot of years, but over the past year, I would say I've been a lot better. So Custom Evolution happened, and then out of nowhere, a lot of fans started hitting me up, and they're like, "Hey, can I get like one-offs of like different action figures?" I'm like, "Of course." And it later turned into a graphic design company, which I love because I love doing graphic design personally. And then I lost a bet to my fiance for the Ohio State Michigan game, and during that, I'm drinking, of course. Mr. Party has to always live
Live the
party.
gimmick a little.
All right, hold on. I
live the gimmick.
do have to pull this up real quick. Brian might have some treats for us from Michigan, so we can't talk too much shit.
Oh,
Sure we can.
Well,
Just because he picked him up in hell doesn't mean, we have to fucking.
because we're from Ohio.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Mr. Party, lives the actual party. He doesn't just say it as a quotation. He really is Mr. Party, Preston Spangler. But I talked to my fiance. I was like, you know what? We're gonna make an action figure out of this. And then out of nowhere, I hit up Aaron Stevens, EC3, because I was doing Exodus Pro. I hit up my best friend A7s, and then I hit up Congo Kong. My trainer was like, "Hey, let's do an action figure for all of you guys. Like, let's do a series 1, and let's go." Excuse my language, fucking crazy on this. Let's have fun. Something that's never been done before. Like, I'm not really in it to make the money. I want the boys to make the money, but I also want the fans to be happy with the first ever action figure that is made in the United States. It's not made overseas. It's made here, and it's for the boys here. On Series 2, we're going to be introducing I don't know the proper term, but a midget, and we're also going to be introducing a woman into this, and the midget.
Can I
Micro.
throw in a celebrity vote for a Jack Vaughn figure? I would buy.
He is actually one of the persons that we will be reaching out to.
He's one of our buddies, dude. I will put you in contact with him. I would buy fucking 3 of them bitches right now.
That would be awesome because thigh slap master over here. He has to have one.
Oh, of course.
So actually, in my new gear, so like I have red Solo Cups down like the leg and shit, right? But there's a handprint area that if I'm doing a big boot or something, I'll have the slide. It's for him. So you're actually the first podcast to actually get that exclusivity, I should say.
Oh yeah, dude, that thing will sell like hotcakes, man.
He's one of our favorites, man. I'd be surprised if you didn't have like an issue. Like, holy shit, we've sold 9,000 of these. How the fuck do I make 9,000 toys?
Right.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. I do want to say, if it isn't for my business partner, his real name isn't in here, but his company is. It's called Cream of the Crop. His real name is Terrell. If it wasn't for Terrell, I couldn't do this. He is the mastermind behind all of it. He's the man designing, like how all the resin molds are made and everything. But I do want to say everything is cloth goods, and it's by Elite Threads on Instagram. The box that you see itself, we've teamed up with a company called Print Express. They're out of Saginaw, Michigan, and Head Gimmicks. He's the guy who designs all the heads for each action figure. fantastic work. I mean, even if you're just in the one-off industry for action figures, go through him. He will not let you down.
What about a 3-off?
I was about to say we're gonna have to talk after we get off of here.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
definitely need to.
we might have to get in on like series like 4 or 5 or something,
Hey,
exclusive,
you know what?
3-pack.
Well, I do one-offs. So like a guy named Peter
Yes, I
Be
do.
Beautiful. I don't know. You may have heard of him. You may have not. Peter Be Beautiful. He is the owner of UPW, up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We did an action figure for him for Marquette Mania, and that's when I got to wrestle Shark Boy. He's one of my heroes.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
dude, I'll get
Yeah.
You're in good company. He's a friend of the show.
That guy is just I will proudly say, and I don't care if any other wrestlers are listening to this or whatever, but I marked the fuck out because he is one of the reasons why I got in this business and I got to wrestle him, and it was so damn cool, you know. And
Do we still have the video loaded up?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's in there. Yeah, it's called Shark Boy. Hold on.
Speaking of marking out the Shark Boy,
yeah, here's
a surprise.
Do it, brother.
exactly.
Your final entrant, this is Shark Boy!
Oh my God! Shark Boy! Shark Boy!
So I don't know if you noticed, but me in the background going, "Oh my God, this is Shark Boy!"
That's awesome, bro. All right, that's a shoot. That's awesome as
Muted.
fuck.
You're muted, Eric. You're muted, Eric.
I'm muted. Dude, the force in which he grabbed my shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like he was, we were just freaking out. It was great.
Shark Boy's
I don't know how to send it to you, but I have a video of him high-fiving me and stuff. So, all right, here's a real story. So this dude in this match, right? It's a Rumble match, and we're like going over everything, right? And this guy's like, "Yeah, man, I know how to eliminate myself and all this shit." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And so Shark Boy, I guess, is in the back. He's watching everything, right? Because he's the last one to come out. And this dude in the ring is for real hitting me, like fucking really hitting me. I'm like, "What are you doing?" So I grab him, I throw him on the ropes. I'm like, "Chill the fuck out." And I give him a receipt back, right? And I'm like, "This is how you do it." And I give him a little flipper, and I'm like, "Hit me here." And I don't mean to break kayfabe, but you know, it's already been fucking dead.
You won't be the first or last.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Hit me here," and he uppercuts me in the fucking rib. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Ow.
So Shark Boy comes out and he sees all this shit, throws him out, and like we're in the ring, and this other dude is like going crazy because he wants to get his spot in for some fucking reason. And so I'm like, "All right, let's do your little spot, right?" And then and he's taking too fucking long. I'm like, "All right, throw you over here," and I go do my other spot, and then it feeds back into back to the main spot. And Shark Boy is laughing his ass off because you can't see it, but you can hear it in the ring. He was laughing his ass off. He's like, "Kid, slow down." I'm like, "I am. It's everyone else fucking around me." And he's like, he's talking to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm laughing my ass off. And I remember before I even went out, Jimmy Hart, because he was in the back, he was like, "Hey, you know, you're babyface, get over by just smiling and waving." I'm like, "What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like, it's not gonna work." Anyways, I'm in the ring smiling and waving, and I got 2,000 people waving back. I'm like, "This son of a bitch actually knows what he's talking about."
Good stuff, baby. Of course he knows what he's talking about.
Like, what the hell? So, like, my fiance, you know, is watching all of it. She's recording it, and I get back and I'm selling to the gimmick to my gimmick table, and she's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "For one, this dude actually hit me in my fucking jaw, so fuck that dude." And secondly, fucking Jimmy Hart knows what the fuck he's talking about. Holy shit.
He's been around the block.
Yeah, hell yeah, he has. So like that was cool as hell, man. And
I love hearing stories like that. Just just those little tidbits of intangibles that you get from years and years of experience.
yeah,
Just something simple as, "Hey, kid, just smile and wave. Just smile and
because
wave."
like when I met him, I was like, "Hey, can I take notes?" He's like, "Of course." And so I whip out my phone and I'm opening up and going to notes. He's like, "So you want to get a picture?" I'm like, "No, brother. Like, I told you I'm gonna take notes. I don't want a picture. Like, I want to pick your brain. Like
Yeah.
everybody else here wants to get pictured with you, but there's something special if I can just pick your brain for 5 minutes because there's so much knowledge in there. Everybody's marking out for you, and I want to mark out, but I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should. Maybe I should. I just want to like understand what I can do better.
Yeah, but
Oh,
there's
yeah.
something to be said for that, though, because what are you going to do with the picture? Look at it here and there, time to time. But
Exactly.
a lesson learned is something you'll carry with you and use, way more frequently.
And it's still on my phone. Like I'm wrestling Friday up in it's called Pure Pro Wrestling up in UPW. It's in Michigan. And then Saturday I'm wrestling in Kokomo, Indiana for a company called AACW. And both of those companies are very important to me because AACW was one of the first companies out in Michigan to get out in Indiana to give me my first break. That was amazing, and they really believe in me, and it's something that I can never repay them enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pure Pro is actually one of the first companies that gave my best friend Sean Stockmeyer, Ace Evans, his first break, and they are now giving me my break, and it's just like it's so crazy because I was over crashing at his house during the time of UPW when I was up there that weekend, and I was like just bullshitting with him, and we're talking about stories and stuff, and it's just Pure Pro Wrestling has been around for so long, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I just want to say this on this podcast because I really believe in this podcast that even for guys that don't have a big name like myself yet, it starts here,
Absolutely.
And if it wasn't for places like this right now, people like myself couldn't be heard. And so I want to thank all three of you guys publicly for the opportunity.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. It's there's so many stories, and they're not just in-ring talent, but there's so many facets of the professional wrestling universe, and it's fun to take in all angles of the wonderful spectrum.
Yeah, for a guy that didn't really grow up with much, like things were really hard for me, for my family. We didn't have a whole lot, but what we did have was each other until we didn't. And then when we didn't have each other, it was all about, can you survive on your own? And I found that out at a very young age that you have to, love who you are and keep going. A lot of guys don't want to admit when they fuck up, but I fucked up a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I fucked up a lot.
Same.
And, I've tried to commit suicide. I've tried to take the easy way out. But my main thing is now not just being the Mr. Party character, but like really pushing men's mental health. That's very important to me because, 5 years ago, actually, I'm sorry, 4 years ago, I put a gun to my head and I pulled the trigger and it didn't go off. I got put into a psych ward, and for so long I was embarrassed to even say this story. But I'm not anymore. It was hard, but things happen for a reason, and I love who I am. I've loved everything that I've went through, and it has made me who I am.
That's the key right there, bro.
It is.
You're in such good company with all that, dude. We love promoting men's mental health. You know, it is something that's been a stigma for so long.
It's not pushed enough, man. Because like, and I love everybody. I don't care if you're straight, you're gay, you're bisexual, or whatever you are. That's great. As long as you love who you are, then I don't give a fuck. You know, like at the end of the day, like as long as you love who you are, that's it. You know, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, any of that. Fuck all that.
Dude,
Like,
find your reason to be happy.
exactly. You know, if partying, you know, because everyone says, "Oh, what does Mr. Party really mean?" Okay, you could go to any place. You could go outside to a park and you're playing basketball. One person's going to stand out, and that person could be whatever. But I call that the party guy, right? So you could go to a frat house. You can go to a bar. You can go to a NASCAR race. You can go whatever, and you're going to find that one person that is not afraid to be who they are. And that to me is the Mr. Party, who I am. I'm not afraid to just say, you know what? This is me, and I'm not afraid of just expressing who I am. You know, like, okay, my shoot job means real. My real job, I build houses for Carter Lumber. And at my job, I make a fool out of myself. But I purposely do that because there's so many people who go there and they're so fucking depressed and they're so sad because they X, Y, and Z goes on their life. But we're there more than we're with our families, you know?
A lot of times.
If we're there for that amount of time, we gotta be somewhat happy. You know, someone has to. So I'm gonna make a fool out of myself and do that, you know, and here's the truth, you know. So like one guy today at my job knew that yesterday I had a tooth get taken out of my mouth, and it sucked. And my father died 1 year ago yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, let's go to a bar." So I had a shot, and he was like, he saw that I was sad, and he's like, "Why are you sad, man? You know, you're going on a wrestling podcast. You're so passionate about this." And I was like, "You know what? You're right." And I was just so damn happy because like this is all I've ever wanted, is just for people to understand, like, I guess from my point of view of no matter if you're going through depression, anxiety, if you're overthinking things, or if you're really happy, just be you. You know, there's no reason to put on a front. You know, like fuck. At the end of the day, all four of us are all marks. You know, there ain't no if and buts about it. We're
Yeah,
all
I'm right
fucking
about
marks.
that.
You know, that's why I got in this business. I'm a mark for Broken Matt Hardy, the Boogeyman.
Yes.
Yes. And Eugene, you know, like Eugene, I was at a show with him a year ago, and we're in the back, and we got done wrestling and all that bullshit, and I'm like, "Hey, can I have a beer with you?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry if I mark out what I'm saying, but can I have a beer with you?" He's like, "Of course." He's like, "But you give me the beer. I'm not getting it for myself." I'm like, deal. So we sit in the back, we're having a beer, and it's I'm picking his brain, man. I'm like, this fucking guy just answered all my questions without me asking anything. I'm just listening to this fucking dude. And I remember, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, or if not a week ago, you guys had Eugene on here.
Yep.
And I brought up UPW. And he influenced me so much. And now I can actually say this instead of typing because I'm dyslexic, so it's hard for me to type. But this fucking guy influenced me so much. And so I'm out in the ring and I'm doing my thing, right? And I was so scared that I fucked up. And we get in the back and he's like, "Hey kid, that wasn't half bad." The fact that you didn't fuck up was crazy. I'm like, oh my God. One of my heroes is somebody didn't fuck up. And I thought I fucked up.
You're the only person that knew.
Yeah. And like, it's just a small see, like right now I'm blushing. And I'm getting teary-eyed because like he's one of my heroes, man, you know. And you had him on. And I'm talking to this guy again, and if it wasn't for people like him influencing a guy like me at my worst at that time in my life, Mr. Party wouldn't be a thing. Wouldn't be anything. You know, these action figures wouldn't be anything.
We like to affectionately refer to that as wrestling loving you back. Because we've loved wrestling for years, and since we've started this podcast, we've had plenty of moments where it's just like, whether it's bringing you out of a funk or just having moments that you never expected you'd have.
Amen to that.
Wrestling loving you back.
See, but I've realized that this business doesn't owe me anything. I'm just a Mark kid who had a passion and who took a bump in a wrestling ring in a shitty indie and was like, oh my God, I have to do this for the rest of my life. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm 6'5". I don't have the big muscles. I don't have all that. But I got one thing. It's called a heart. I look at you guys, and I'm just like you. I'm just like, I can't see the fans that are watching this show, but I'm just like every one of them. I'm a normal day-to-day guy who I wake up every morning. I go to a shit job, and I try to find my escape. And my escape is professional wrestling. To some people, it's music, and I give you all the credit in the world. I'm not that talented. The most talent I got is able to cheers the crowd and say, hey, you know what? This is me. And I get to live my dream and go on a podcast on Thursdays nights and say, hey, I ain't afraid to look retarded. So, or whatever, like how those proper words.
May is Positive Mental Health Month, man, and we're all about that. That's why our logo's green right now.
Amen to that, brother.
We want to spread that positivity everywhere. That's what it is for us. We just want to rub elbows with wrestlers that we like, man. And I mean, we've had Al Snow on here. We've had, Eugene. We've had copious amounts of indie wrestlers we have a ton of respect for. Luke Curtis, Jack Vaughn, and we get to this point now where they're like our buddies. You know what I mean? I got to take Mance Warner from Dayton to Indianapolis, and you talk about picking someone's brain. It was just like listening to. I mean, that guy is on the cutting edge of wrestling right now, and it was just a fun moment. That's what this is about: soaking it in and enjoying wrestling. And this is something that it's therapy for me. So if I can take that enjoyment, and positivity that I get from it, and spread that to someone else, that's all I would ever want. Whether we have 15,000 views or 15 views, it doesn't necessarily matter.
Amen to that. And I didn't mean anything by my last statement when I dropped the hard R word. I meant like I am a little slower. I don't have a designated word for who I am, but I am a little slower. And even my trainer will jokingly say that, but like I have an open soul, like I openly say like, hey, it's okay if you need help, because at the end of the day, no one's perfect. Like I for so long had a drinking problem. Mr. Party started off at a bar when he lost his gimmick. So let me break it down to you. In 2020, I had my first match, and I was a scary guy with face paint facing a guy named Josh Movado. And I don't even remember what show it was. It was in Michigan, though. And God, it was horrible. I couldn't walk to save my life. Hell, I called it Irish whip. You don't call that. And so I called it Irish whip, and I was just like, and immediately within 2 seconds, I remember being on the ground, and the guys tell me, hey, tap out. I'm like, all right. And I wrestled another gentleman named Soul Taker, and he told me, he's like, hey, you're supposed to be a referee. I was like, all right. So I lose the match to him and everything, and he taught me a lot. And long story short, it brought me to Steve Wilson, Kung Kong. And he changed my life forever. He really did. if it wasn't for him, I don't even know if I'd be alive. I really don't. I had a lot of self-doubt. A guy that was over 300 pounds who didn't believe in himself mentally and physically, and a guy who couldn't even barely lock up to save his life.
Tony, you're 6'5", over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
How are you not signed in like the NFL or something?
Brother, I'm so uncoordinated. I'm the giraffe of professional wrestling. You know what I
Just
mean?
out there, newborn giraffing it. Just
Yeah, like I'm like, yeah, give me the tree. And but yeah, so like I'm not the most coordinated. I'm not the most athletic. I did find out I can jump over the top rope and do a sunset flip as of late. But I'll be debuting that on Friday and Saturday.
Which, whenever you see a guy of like your stature do something like that, it's always impressive.
But is it though? Because a guy my size should
To me,
I really appreciate that, and that's a shoot. I thank you for that, because like most guys, if you're my size, you shouldn't be doing that. But the giraffe is actually doing it, so that's actually pretty cool.
now I think at the heart of it, though, you said before, you're a mark and we're marks, but I think at the heart of it, I mean, it doesn't matter what part of this industry they come from. Everybody starts as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, because if you don't, then like, what are you doing this for? For money? Because fuck on the indies, there's no money. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
There's
it's not
no
for the
money. You do this because you love it. You guys do this because you love it. You love being able to talk to X, Y, and Z. And my story is gonna be different than Hornswoggle. If you ever get, if you do him or Shane Douglas or whoever, we're all gonna have different stories that lead to anything.
Hell, I like it when it's just. I like it too when it's just us three chatting.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where we started.
You three have a very unique story, and it's only unique because it's your story.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And same for me. A guy who came from nothing and turned it into something. It's still not really anything crazy, but it's my story.
Just doing what you like to do and doing what you love, and then if you get some notoriety and moments and memories, and if you happen to make money doing it, cool. But sometimes it's about more than that.
Yep.
So we're getting close to 9 o'clock, which is the normal time we wrap it up. But before we get to there and we wrap up for the night, we have a question that we ask every single person that comes through our show, and it's more of a dad-centered question. Are you a father?
Not yet. Me and my fiance will be attempting to have kids very soon.
Well, heck yeah. Well, either way, the question still applies. Mike, you want to hit him with it?
Yes, like you said, it's a dad-centered question, and as dads, we're very, all about the budget, and efficiency. So we like to ask people, what you keep your thermostat set to?
69.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
There are 3 acceptable answers that get a rise out of us, and that's 68, 69, and 70. If you're right in the middle.
perfect.
Here we go.
Big pop.
Yeah, man. We're definitely gonna have to be in touch with you about a 3-pack of DWO toys, man. Maybe
I'm definitely down.
or order a few sets off of you so we can sell some ourselves and have one on my wall somewhere.
Oh yeah, I gotta have them, right?
If you don't mind me doing a little cheap pop for myself, if anybody
Absolutely.
is
Plug
interested
away.
in getting action figures of Ace Evans, of the Man EC3, of Aaron Stevens, formerly known as Damian Sandow in the WWE, everything comes with real cloth goods.
That's so cool.
Congo Kong, I will be wrestling him in the main event at KOA Campground in Petersburg, Michigan on June 8th. And of myself, Preston Ryker, you can go on to TrueWrestlingEvolution.com and pre-order them today.
We actually shared that website.
Yeah, I think we shared it in the comments, I believe.
Yeah, but I think you wrote Revolution. It's Evolution.
Evolution with an E.
Yeah.
Evolution.
Damn it.
It's all good.
We'll post a link.
Yeah,
I do want
absolutely.
to say that's really cool how you did Preston Spangler with like the blue from like the Breaking Bad.
Blue Ice, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a huge mark for Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
You give me a
I
I
breadcrumb, I
actually just
run
showed
with
my
it, you know?
fiance that show, and she's like, I don't know if you ever seen it, but JC Pinkman's like, yeah, bitch. And so we always make that joke back and forth now.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
science,
just-
bitch.
I mean, nuts, man. Like, things would be going good, and then Jesse fucks it up again, does something
Right,
stupid,
right.
and it's like, oh my God, kid. Jesus.
Well, boys, I do got a really neat quote I heard today for some advice before we wrap up.
Do
Yeah.
it.
I actually said it to you guys before we went live, but the crowd deserves to hear it as well.
Absolutely.
The same boiling water that makes the egg hard boiled also softens the potato. So it is up to you to dictate what your environment does to you. Don't let your environment dictate what happens. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Can I pause you right there really quick?
Sure.
So I don't know if he's watching this or not. But
There
if
you
he's
go.
not, I'm sharing it with him. A7s. So A7s. I'm in his vehicle and we're traveling together. And you said hard boiled eggs. On the road. That's my favorite thing to eat is hard boiled eggs.
Oh, you evil person.
For me, that's like road trip food, man. For me,
Playing that is great.
for me, it's pickled sausage. I love it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good too.
I love, for some reason on a road trip, I have to get them. They're awesome.
Oh,
So I have my protein shake and I have hard boiled eggs with no salt, no
Oh my
pepper.
God. I am never riding in a road trip with you ever.
But I'll have like 6 or 7 of them fuckers, right? And
You're not making it better.
and I'll be eating them. And I ran out and I wanted more. So Ace, stopped to get more gas and everything. And Eddie Dillon is in the passenger seat. And so is
You had enough gas for the both of you.
what's his name? Sean Porter. He's a referee and he does a lot of behind the scenes work in professional wrestling on the indies.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, so we're parked at the gas station. I get the gas station eggs and I'm eating them. And I left the baggie in Ace's car. And he texted me on the night after we get back to his house. He's like, if you ever leave a baggie in my car, hell out again, I will kill you.
Oh, my.
He's in
Oh,
Saginaw, Michigan. I'm in Toledo, Ohio. And, like, I totally forgot about it. But, yeah, that was just, it was funny because you brought up hard-boiled eggs. I was like,
I love me some hard-boiled eggs, but hard-boiled eggs and protein shakes sounds like a recipe for disaster.
well, when you're trying to bulk up, like, I mean, I'm a huskier guy, so I'm trying to bulk up myself. But
Protein.
yes.
Indeed. All right. Well, you boys got any other final thoughts before we head out of here?
Nah, I'm good, buddy.
Just for all the men and women out there, I don't care what you are, just please, your mental health is very important. So if you feel like you need help, contact somebody.
Reach out. You're not
Somebody
alone.
is always better than having nobody.
Yep.
You're worth it. Just please, stay positive because it could always be worse, and if you're thinking about joining a professional wrestling class, join no other than Congo Kong. We're based out of Bluffton, Indiana. So hit up Steve Wilson on Facebook. My name is Preston Spangler, but my wrestling name is Preston Ryker. I'm going to be in a lot of areas potentially near you. This weekend, I'm going to be in Michigan, near Saginaw, and I'm going to be in Kokomo, Indiana on Saturday. And then I'm going to be in PA Petersburg, Michigan on June 8th. And then later that month in June, I'm going up to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Oh yeah.
Do a tour up there.
Nice. Hey,
So, and I'm doing a lot of stuff all over. So follow me on Facebook and Instagram and my TikTok. And please look out for True Wrestling Evolution. If it wasn't for you guys, this would just be a random dream, but this is all of our dreams, for an independent
All
wrestling.
working together.
Yes, it is. For an independent wrestling guy like myself, this isn't just a one-off. I really do plan on making this a thing for the boys and the girls to actually get their brand out. And again, I really am very important in not me being very important, but it's very important to get the brand out, but also the men and women dealing with mental health. That's my big thing. I don't care about the wrestling. I don't care about the action figures. Mental health and making sure that no one wants to commit suicide, because I've been down that road. And if you are down that road, you're important. Just please don't give up.
Yeah, reach out, man.
well, we're
Absolutely.
certainly glad that you found your reason to be happy, man, and
Yeah.
that that whatever the reason is that it didn't happen that day. I think we're all blessed that it didn't. It's a better word with you in it, man.
Yes.
And like you said, there's always somebody there to talk to. What's the number, Cephas? 988.
988.
There's always somebody at the end of that line. If you want to
There is.
reach out to the dads, there's always one of us available to talk. If you reach out in the middle of the night, it might be early morning for you to get us. But
sleepy
we always
dads.
respond.
And if someone needs to reach out to me, Preston Spangler or Preston Ryker, I don't care what time of night it is. If you got something going on and you need somebody, I'm willing to be there. I'm willing to be that person.
Good.
I care about everyone, and I'm not perfect. I still deal with a lot of demons that I'm trying to get over. But you're worth so much in this world, and you just can't give up. I don't care if you're 20, if you're 10, if you're 50, if you're 90, you're worth something.
Absolutely.
Nothing's worth giving your life over. And I don't care if someone just doesn't accept you for who you are or for whatever. Please just don't give up. We love you.
Absolutely, man.
That's my main goal, and that's not Mr. Party Preston Ryker. That's me as a person, Preston Spangler. I can't speak for you three gentlemen, but that was my main reason coming on here is because there's so much positive in talking to the internet, and you guys give me a platform to be able to do that. So I can't thank you enough for letting me do that. Is just say, no matter what you're going through, just don't give up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you
Great
came on
creator
the
to
right
live by.
show to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
So as always, we've been the DWO podcast. I'm Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy Cephas, and he is the one and only Mr. Party Preston Ryker, Preston Spangler, whatever you want to call him. As always, check us out on all the socials at DW_podcast, Facebook at the DWO podcast, TikTok at DW_pod. Get that dad merch at Pro Wrestling Tees, T Public, or reach out to us personally. We will ship it to you. We got all kinds of good stuff. And if you want to see us, yeah, we're going to be at Wrestling Revolver tomorrow night, another Friday, Dayton, Ohio. Hell of a card. If you haven't got tickets yet, go get them. It's going to be awesome. You get to see us there. And we're just a very, very small part of that because the whole show is just going to be awesome. So until next time, Top Dads out.